Optimum departmentation means you will go with the departmentalization. Division of labor, which is also called as the principle of specialization, was first highlighted by Plato. Departments in an organization must be so created and maintain unity of command, where one person will give command and everybody will listen. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Street College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the fifth session of Organizing and Staffing. In this session, we're going to learn about structural principle is. Now, structural principle of organization that relates to those aspects of organization which have a bearing on the structure or the development of the organization. Its fundamental design and the shape. So here you need to understand it is all about the design and the shape. Some important principles under this category, such as first one is principles of division of work. It is also called as division of labor. The second one is the functional definition. Then you go with principles of optimum departmentation. Optimum departmentation means you will go with the departmentalization, which I have already stated in the session 1 and 2. Next is principles of unity of direction, and the last one is span of management principle. So these are the principles which we are supposed to broadly classify in the structural principles. Now, structural principle is majorly because of the design and the shape of the organization structure. Now, please understand the first one, that is division of work, which is also called as division of labor. Though back in 350 BC, where this person called Plato, he actually went with the division of labor or the division of specialization, which is also it is called as. Now, here you need to understand that the division of labor, which is also called as the principle of specialization, was first highlighted by Plato in 350 BC when he compared the workmanship of people in small cities and with their counterparts in the big cities. Now, there was a comparison in 350 BC by a person called Plato. Plato is very famous for analyzing the workmanship. This principle of specialization has major advantages in the form of increases productivity and decreases per unit cost of production. Now, for the products having less variety, however, it has disadvantages like monotony on part of workers who feel bored of doing the same task over and over again. Now, here when you go with division of work, what exactly this division of work is? That means one person will be getting only one work and he should do that work every day. What is the advantage of it is he gets specialized in that particular work. But there is also a disadvantage that his creativity and innovative will be suppressed and he should do only the work which he has been given or assigned to do it. Now here there are two things, that is advantages plus you have disadvantages. If you go with advantages, what happens is he don't need to worry about other work. He should only focus on one work at a time. One more advantage is, if we can go with it, as in the division of work, what happens is he gets specialized in the work whatever he is doing it after getting more experience of getting the work done efficiently and effectively. The third one is he'll increase the productivity. Say example, for achieving one particular task, right? I'll give you one example where division of work can be done. Say there is this person, an employee, right? An employee, he goes with manufacturing 1000 units, right? He goes with manufacturing 1000 units and he takes the time at say 12 hours. Now you need to know that in a day you are supposed to work for 8 hours. So what happens is 8 hours plus 4 hours, in the sense he takes 1.5 days, that is working days. Now, to be very honest, like 1000 units what he was supposed to manufacture, if he takes 12 hours, that too 1.5 day working day is what it is considered. Now, after doing the same work for like 3 months, now what happens is after 3 months, after 3 months, he will actually make 1000 units within 8 hours. Within 8 hours. That means half a day is saved. So if you try to calculate the division of work, what happens is after 6 months, what happens? He get expertise in it, and that can reduce. That is 1000 units can be, he can produce more within 8 hours, or he can actually produce less than the hours which he has actually taken. That means 1000 units can be taken within, say, 6 hours. The reason is he get specialized in doing the same work. So that is what the merit is. Now the demerit, what happens is apart from that work, he cannot do anything else. That is what the division of work or the division of labor will go with. Principles of functional definition. Now here, when you go with functional definition, please understand, according to this principle, all the functions in the concern should be completely and clearly defined to the managers and subordinates. That means there should be a proper functional definition. This can be done by clearly defining the duties, responsibility, authority, and relationship of people towards each other. The last one is clarification in authority, responsibility, relationship helps in achieving coordination, and thereby organization can take place efficiently. Now here in this, what happens is I'll give you a functional structure where this MD is there, and we have people like, say, HR manager, we have finance manager, and we have sales manager. Now what happens is if you go with these departmentation, the function of definition is concerned about what? That is completely and clearly defined to the managers. That is what the HR manager should do, what the finance manager should do, and what the sales manager should do it. And then it can also be given clearly with defining the duties. That is what a HR manager's duty, responsibility, authority, and what exactly he should get the things done. Everything is defined in the functional definition. Now here in the functional definition, what happens is the HR manager will not interfere into the finance manager, the vice versa, plus finance manager will not interfere into sales manager, and vice versa. The reason here is they are clearly defined, and completely the role and everything, that is the duties, authority, responsibility, whom should they report, whom should they not report, everything will be clearly defined. Later, if any problem happens within the departmentalization, now what they should do is they need to always refer to the top management for any of the confusion to be solved. Now even this MD will be given a proper set of rules and regulation, duties, responsibility, authority, because in the principle of functional definition, each and every person will be given his own duties and responsibility, that whom he is supposed to be accountable to. Next one we have with us is the principle of optimum departmentation. Now there are many ways and basis for creating departments within an organization. According to the principle of optimum departmentation, departments in an organization must be so created and maintained as to facilitate the best attainment of the common objectives of the enterprises. That means they need to always achieve the goal. Say example, I gave you an example here with MD here, managing director, and we had HR manager, then we had finance manager, and then we have sales manager. Now if you clearly goes with this principles of the functional definition and the principle of optimum departmentation, now here we have what? We have the recruitment, selection, we have the committee for training and development, and the last one here we go with performance appraisal. So these are the departments in the HR manager. Now when we go with the finance, here we have the budget, we have the accounting, we have the balance sheet, and we have people who will go with cost accounting. Done. Now sales we have the marketing team, the advertisement team, the promotion team, and the sales research team. Now what happens is, when you go with the proper optimum departmentation, now you are making all these departments for your own benefits. Now try to understand. I'll give you an example of the HRM team only. Now the HR manager, he finds that there are few people who are needed in finance as well as sales. Now what HR manager does is, he'll go and he'll ask the recruitment team to go for a manpower planning. Now the recruitment team will go with manpower planning, and they'll get to know that there are 11 people who are supposed to be hired. Now there will be an interview which will be done by the recruitment team. Now the team will tell that there should be a interview panel where the selection committee we should actually come. Now selectors will actually go and they'll actually get interview done of 100 to 1000 people, and in the best of the best they will hire for 11 members. Now after this is done, now we have the optimum departmentation where the training and development team will actually come. Now the training and development people will give those training to 11 of them, or say they have taken 15 or 11. Now they'll give the training and development for all those people, and then the performance appraisal will be measured. Now those 11 people are given the division of work, that is, each person will get small jobs and they are supposed to do it. See, this is what, again, a complete 360 rotation where you have the functional definition plus you have optimum departmentation. Next one is principles of unity of direction. Now we have studied in the last session about unity of command, where one person will give command and everybody will listen. The same way you have something called unity of direction, where each and every employee will have one boss to report. Principle implies that each group of activities having the same objective must have only one overall head. See, the same way what you had in unity of command, one employee should go with one boss. The same way here also, one overall head and only one overall or master plan should be given. As a principle of organization, this concept of unity of direction must be so embedded in designing the organization structure that for each group of similar activity, there is a provision for only one overall head having authority over all personnel performing the same function anywhere in the organization. That means, now I gave you an example of the managing director. Now the managing director is the overall head for all the departments. Say we had HRM, we had finance manager, and we had sales manager. Now in the HRM, what happens, whatever the department is that, only the HR manager should speak and he should give the structure properly, that is roles, duties, everything, and everybody need to report to whom? To the HR manager. So this is what the unity of direction says. And the same way it is for the financial manager as well. That means the entire department should always have a superior or subordinate relationship where unity of direction can be given very easily. Now when we go with this unity of direction, you should also know that if we go with say, I'll give you an example here, A, then we have here B and C, then we will go with here D and E. The same way, if you start going here S, R, I'm just giving you a random figures where you will understand what exactly the unity of direction is. Now employee S need to only listen to what employee D will tell. Employee D should listen to what B says, and B will listen to what A says. Now there is something called unity of direction. That is, whatever the boss tells his subordinate, the subordinate should perform. And the subordinate of B, he should only listen to A. Now the same way here, subordinate of B is D. Now D should listen to B. Now S as well as R should listen to D. That is the flow of chart which happens. And in the unity of direction, what happens is the directions are given by the top level till the lower level. But here what exactly happens is the authority flows from top to bottom, but meanwhile the responsibility flow from bottom to top. Now S will report to D, D will report to B, and B will report to A. This is called the principles of unity of direction. That means clarity is there is no confusion whom should we report and whom we shouldn't report. Say example, as a principle of organization, this concept of unity of direction must be so embedded in the designing the organization structure that for each group of similar activities, there is a provision for only one overall head having authority. Now, for example, now P, whom should he listen? Should he listen to E or it is B? He should listen to E. That is what he should do it. So this is called unity of direction. So next one is span of management principle. Now the span of management principle is variously called as span of control. It is also called as what? Span of control or the span of supervision. However, the phrase span of management is the widest, including also the notion of span of control and span of supervision. The span of management principle implies that there is a limit to the number of subordinates whose work could be effectively managed, controlled, or supervised by the superior. Now here, say example, one person will have 5 subordinates. Now can he look after all the 5 subordinates in an equal sense? So that is what the span of management or span of control is. Now one person, how many subordinates he can have? Say example, if he have 10 of the subordinates, now can he look or take care of all the 10 members? That is what the span of control is all about. Now how exactly a person should look into it? Now example, I'm just giving you marketing. Now for a marketing team, you really need a very big team. Now only one manager is there, marketing manager, and he will go with 20 of his subordinates. Can he manage? Definitely no. So what he does is, now there are say 20 people here. Now I'll give you the span of management where the marketing manager is here and below him there are say 20 of them, right? There are 20 of them who are actually with him. Now I'm just giving you a random. Now he can't actually see. So that how the span of control should be, I'll give you here. Now marketing manager. Now he'll have 2 teams, team A and team B. Now there are 2 employees done. Now team A will have say 2 called C and D. Now these people will have 2, say X, Y. Now these people will have say 3, S, P and R. Now how many employees are done? Now try to understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Say example here. We have M and N. Now this part A is done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The same way, if we have B also 10, now the 20 is done. That means what? The span of control, it will always increase. The reason is, people, you are supposed to concentrate more on what the workers are doing rather than allotting all these people into one segment. So here span of management, what exactly says is, the span of management principle implies that there is a limit. There is what? There is a limit to the number of subordinates whose work could be effectively managed. Now here in the first example which I gave you, right? Now we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 20 if you go with it. Marketing manager cannot check each and everybody's efficiency very quickly, but here in the marketing manager what we have done is we have given A and B. Now A will check only C and D, right? C will check only X and Y. The same way X will check only M and N. So what happens is, here span of management or the span of control is efficiently as well as effectively it will work, whereas here it will not. That is the differences which people have also seen, and then they went with span of management as a principle. So these are the principles of structural organization where you are supposed to understand. And if you have any doubts regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much.